crazy.
Alright, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. I just finished watching the Chris Avalos Frampton fight. It was a pretty good fight. Frampton finishes him, stops him in the 5th round. Okay, I thought it was a pretty good stoppage. Avalos was a little bit out on his feet, even though he was fighting back. Frampton, I think it was a pretty good stoppage. Okay, Frampton hurt him early, and Avalos was fighting back, but did stop. It was a very good fight though. Frampton, continuously landed the right hand. Okay, he landed the left hook. I was surprised because I thought Avalos was gonna get the better of him once he closed the distance and it stayed on inside. Frampton did well on the inside. Okay, I thought the fight was pretty even the first couple rounds until Avalos kind of hurt his shoulder. I don't know what happened, but they were tangled up, and when the ref broke them up, he started complaining about his arm, and he actually turned around and turned his back on Frampton, and Frampton took advantage of that and jumped on him and landed a couple shots. I thought the fight was going to be stopped. I didn't know what was wrong with Avalos, but after he went back to his corner, he seemed to be okay. So Frampton was just getting the better after the 2nd round, which I gave to Frampton too, because I thought Avalos was barely winning the round until that one part. After that round was over, I gave Frampton the edge every round after that. He's just the difference between the two of them was his speed and his timing. He was just quicker. And he did well. Like I said, he did well banging on the inside. The ref was letting him fight on the inside. And, he was breaking him up. And Frampton did well, for him to be the smaller guy and, for him to have the lateral movement that he has and his speed that he has. And I was very surprised, because in the Kiko Martinez fights, Frampton really didn't stay in the pocket with Martinez. And I was surprised what he did with Avalos. Like, you could tell he's been really working on that. So I was really impressed with the fight. Now, as far as what's next, as far as Scott Quigg was there. He actually did the whole post-fight interview with Frampton, and they were discussing what they're going to do about the fight, whether it's going to be out in Ireland, where Frampton's from, where it's going to be out in London, where Quigg is from, where the fight should be. They're both saying like, I'll come out to fight him there in his hometown. I mean, me personally, I don't know. Like, I'm not from Europe, so I really don't know who they considers to be the bigger fighter between the two. I don't really know who's more popular, but I know Frampton has a better resume. Okay, fighting guys like Chris Avalos, who's a top fighter at the division, fighting Kiko Martinez and beating him twice. Scott Quigg hasn't fought the level of fighters that Frampton has fought. I think Frampton is fighting the better fighters. Outside of the fact that none of them are fighting Guillermo Rigondeaux, I love the fact that Frampton at least fighting the other top fighters in the division. So I'm more impressed with his resume than Scott Quigg. Scott Quigg are fighting just a bunch of solid guys. I don't feel like he's really tested himself. And this is why a lot of people think Frampton is the better between the two. So as far as resumes is concerned, I would think that Quigg should go over to Ireland and fight him in Belfast or wherever they decide to fight, have the fight. That's just my personal opinion, okay? But I'm a lot more impressed with Frampton more than Leo Santa Cruz and Quigg and all of these other guys outside of Guillermo Rigondeaux, obviously. Okay, they're sitting there. I don't know the guy. I don't know if he's what's his name? The guy that was in the ring with Frampton. Frampton. I don't know if it's his manager, but he kept saying that Frampton's the real champion and that, he's going to prove the world that he's going to be the best. He's better than even Guillermo Rigondeaux. You know, think he's taking it a little too far with that, okay? Because that fight needs to happen. Because Rigondeaux will fight any of these guys, okay? But I like Frampton, man. He's good. He's solid to me. He's definitely solid. You know, I'm waiting for Quigg to step up. Okay, I like Scott Quigg. You know, I like his body punches and everything. But Frampton seems like he's the most, you know, the more well-rounded fighter between the two of them. So hopefully the fight happens next, you know, because, I mean, that's the fight that needs to happen to settle who's the best out there in the UK. You know, the fight was televised in the United States here. It was on that AWE channel, the channel that I've told you guys in the past that showed big fights out in the in Europe. Okay, they showed like the Carl Froch fight, the first fight with what's this guy's name? George Groves. Okay, there's been a lot of fights. Okay, they showed the Klitschko fights. They show a lot of big fights out in Europe or international fights every once in a while on these Saturdays, you know, and they'll show the entire card. I should have made a video telling you guys, but I didn't find out till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The fights start at 3:30 Eastern today. Okay, so I think that's like about 5 hours back from like certain times out in the UK. So I'll try to do a better job and let you guys know when these fights are gonna come on television here. Okay, but the whole card was shown. You know, I saw the Dillian White fight. I showed a couple of the fights, so I'll try to do a better job letting you guys know. But you guys, you know, if you have that channel, that AWE channel, I have Verizon Fios. They show the big fights, the big international fights on there sometimes, and they show the entire card. Okay, no breaks, you know, no commercials, you know, during in between rounds. So it's pretty good. So anyway, I'm out. I didn't see the Chris Eubank Jr. fight yet. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go back and try to watch that. But I watched this card because it was actually on television here. Okay, let me know what you think as far as the next fight, Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton. All right, what you think about that fight? Hopefully it happens next. All right, and make sure you hit subscribe.